when the Nollywood maestro, when one of the best to do it in the industry, Kunle Afolayan, gave us Anikulapo back in 2022, a lot of us were excited when we heard that they were making a part 2 because we had questions. Part 1 left us questioning things. I'm not going to delve into the first installment of Anikulapo. I am here to talk about the series that was released on the 1st of March 2024, exclusive to the streaming platform Netflix. Kunle Afolayan gave us Anikulapo, Rise of the Spectre, a 6 episodes mini series that a lot of Nigerians were excited to see. But unfortunately, and typically what we see in the Nigerian movie industry, especially when it comes to their content and storytelling, at the end of the day, it begins to fall flat. So I am going to talk about that movie today, the series today, and I would like for you to share your experience or let me know what you think. Because when you released Anikulapo, the series, The Rise of the Spectre, they released this and made us believe that that was just going to be it. But with the way they ended the movie, they've left us thinking, is there a second part? Just like Mo Abudu's Netflix movie, what's that thing about two sisters fighting that fought, and it was that series now, Blood and something. They also, ended in a way that we would wonder, is there a part 2? Because just depending on how we accept it, they leave it to the consumers to decide how they should progress. But let's talk about Rise of the Spectre. It featured some of the old cast from the first installment of the movie. We saw Shola Shobowale come. We saw Bimbo Ademoye. You still brought back Kunle Remi. We know a lot of the key characters were still there. Wogo still played the king, his wives, and Eyemi, Kunle Afolayan's daughter, still featured. It also brought some new faces. Adedimeji Lateef featured, Ozzy Isman featured, Adeniyi Johnson came. One thing that you would credit Kunle Afolayan for, though, is that in all of his works, if you've gone to look at it, even from the days of his movie Figurine, from those old days, from should I say old days now, but like the early days when he started giving us masterpiece stories, it would always involve people who know how to interpret story. And not just that, he has started incorporating and bringing in a lot of our Yoruba actors and is giving them a platform. And one thing he also does is he tries as much as possible to introduce a new face to us in any of his movies, and he gives them major characters. They are not on the side. We saw him bring a singer in one of his movies, Swallow. We've seen him bring, different persons in his movies. And in this one, he brought to us Herbert Ogunde's son. And it's like, Herbert Ogunde, okay, how? He went to uproot that man from the US to Nigeria to come and play a lead role. And I understand, that's why I can forgive the many parts the story later took, The Rise of the Spectre, because like I mentioned, it's a 6 episode series, and each episode, I think the list was about 52 minutes. So you're talking about seeing 1 hour plus for an episode, spending 1 hour plus on an episode. That's a whole movie on its own. That's something you go to the cinema to watch, and they will start the story, they'll finish the story, and you will say, yes, I did not waste my money in this cinema today on this movie. But you had that in 6 episodes, and so it's just a matter of time before the storylines will begin to go scatter. Personally, I would have preferred if they had just maintained the Saro Arolake storyline a little bit, and then because they ended with Arolake leaving. We didn't know if Saro died, but Rise of the Spectre, apparently Saro not just died, he made a deal with the dates, he made a deal with people who refused to let him go, and sadly the date was released was the day one of the characters in that movie, Sisi Quadri, God continue to rest the soul of this young man, passed away. But that did not take, we're not going to let that take away from what we are talking about concerning Kunle Afolayan's movie, Anikulapo, Rise of the Spectre. Some other persons felt like this movie is such a masterpiece. I think it's a good movie. I think it's a masterpiece when you talk about cinematography, when you talk about sound, when you talk about look. Kunle Afolayan has a Kunle Afolayan village, Cap Village. So when he was able to depict the old Oyo town, we had a lot of that. The costume made sense. You could tell that genre is a fine man, but still they still costumed him appropriately, but at the same time, they could not really hide his beauty. But then, I mean, the costume was nice, the actors did well. This man, Bashir, you know, outdid himself. And when I went through his bio, I saw that, oh, he's also an actor, and definitely blood still runs, the Ogunde blood runs through his vein, and he also delivered exceptionally. So all the actors delivered exceptionally, and you can't take that away. But what I'm talking about is the storyline, because at the crux of all of it, if the story is flat, if it's not cohesive, it's not like it's flat, but they just could not bind the story together. They were taking us from here to there, and then they brought in Ed there at some point, and some reconciliation, and they made Uzi Osman and Hausa person. And I'm wondering how, at some point, you know, when earlier on, if you don't know who Ozzy is, and you've seen the movie, he played the character of an Ede prince. And, you know, initially when they introduced him, he didn't speak. So I was like, oh, this boy does not understand Yoruba. There's no way he wants to speak Yoruba language. This is a Yoruba movie, right? Then, in the course of the movie, one of the episodes, when he eventually spoke with his betrothed, I mean, the lady was supposed to marry, was supposed to bring about reconciliation between the people of Oyo and Ede. But if you look at history, I don't think there was a time that Ede was such a threat to the Oyo Empire. Was there? I'm just quite curious. And also the religion, the Muslim religion that they took, the Islam religion that they took in Ede, was he brought to them by Hausas. Quite curious about that, because we also one of the characters one of the persons that played an Ede indigene also that I saw in that movie, Buchi Franklin, is not. So is that not Buchi Franklin? What's that man's name? He's an Hausa man. What's his name now? I can't recall his name, but you should know that man. I'll try and find an image of that man and put on the screen for you to see. But like, was there a time that happened? I'm just quite curious. Is that part of the story historically correct? Hey, it's what I did there. But really, is that part of the story? Is it historically correct? But like I was saying, Hosie, I was thinking that man was not going to speak. But when he spoke, I was thinking, are they speaking Yoruba into his mouth? You know, when you dub a movie and they're speaking a different language, and then you dub the language, you understand now, did they speak into his mouth? They dub that Yoruba into his mouth. But I really could not tell, because of the way they, you know, something about Kunle Afalayon's movies, when they are speaking Yoruba, they are picking their Yoruba one by one. And it's like, if you want to speak, I'm a Yoruba girl, if you cannot tell by now. If you want to speak Yoruba, there's a way you speak, like the general Yoruba language you speak. But so, and you're not picking your words one by one like somebody. Oh Lord, I mean, really? But I guess in the Oyo Empire, it was trying to be very accurate, historically accurate, so they had to speak like that. So I mean, I really could not tell if Ozzy was speaking in Yoruba language or if he wasn't. And if you're a part of the crew members, you can let us in the comment section. Was he actually speaking in Yoruba language? So the only con, if you cannot tell by now, for me, and the movie is how the story took us here and there, and some of the storylines we did not need for them to be as elaborate as they became. And why is it that these people, their character development, I don't like it? Maybe if they are able to give us another season, which I'm really not saying why, but because of the ending, it suggests that there will be a different season, and the Rise of the Spectre is just like a season 1. Maybe that is what they are doing. If they do give us a different season, I hope to see character development, and I hope that Saro is not going to follow woman in the next installment of Anikulapo. I mean, guy, you were given a chance at life, and the next thing you do was to impregnate somebody and not body anybody, your sugar mommy's daughter. This only happens in Yoruba. I mean, this is a Yoruba film, so yeah, I guess it can happen. And then I mean, what is it? I mean, we've been raised and we've known that the devil does not just give; he gives and takes something in return. So Arolake gets in that pause for no reason. Just are we saying it's just fate? She's just one of those destined to be lucky, and a deity, an alien will see you and just give you a pause where, with money that never runs dry, that's Jesus' doing. You know, you get that and you don't give nothing in return. I'm quite interested in seeing that and how they are thinking. People that have gone through that, for Arolake that had lived in the forest for so many years, she's been wanted, fate and fortune smiles on her, and somehow, she still made that decision to say she wants to return. Like, make it make sense. I mean, I just feel like maybe they're just leaving all these open things for us to talk about, so that when they have a new installment, they will put the pieces together and we'll get a more cohesive and more concise story. If that is what is going to happen, then I am here to say it. But overall, amazing story writing. Actually, Shola Dada killed herself. I mean, they didn't kill themselves, but they outdid themselves with the story. They won the previous AMVCA award for best this thing for the same movie, Anikulapo. The first installment, they were the one that wrote it, so they won award for that one, AMVCA award for that one. We are going to have another AMVCA award sometimes in May. Let's see if wait, is Anikulapo Rise of the Spectre, is it going to fall in that category of movies that we are going to be awarding? I'm not sure. I think it's going to be 2025's AMVC, or is it 2024's AM? Is it in the category? Are we going? I don't know. But if we do, I want to assume that Anikulapo is also going to earn. So the Rise of the Spectre is going to win some other awards. So shout out to Shola Dada, shout out to Kunle Afolayan, shout out to Benro Afolayan, shout out to Bimbo Ademoye, Kuliremi, Shola Shubowale, Herbert Ogunde's son. I can't remember his first name now. It's a kind of a long name. I can't pronounce it now. Shout out to Taiwo Azan. Shout out to all of the presses. But I have a question. The Oyo Council, Oyo Messi, what do you call them? These guys, why is it that it's only just that one woman that they have? And why is it that just that one woman herself, she didn't say nothing? And how is it that the queen's nephew was able to follow Akin, all through with the mammoth of warriors and soldiers that Arolake had encompassed herself with? How was he able? And this is somebody who is not a soldier. It was just a palace boy. And it was so still that Akin's peripheral vision did not capture him on the horse. He was able to follow Akin up until the part that he was able to peep into, and then the killing of him. What was that? Okay, I guess that was to show Akin's loyalty. So that when he eventually left Arolake, because Arolake didn't reciprocate, we would understand. I guess that's it. That has answered that question. But yeah, in the comment section, let me know. I have questions, and at the same time, I enjoy this. I mean, as much as I'm saying these questions, I really did sit down and I saw all of it. I didn't skip, which is rare. Hours plus, and I finished it in a day. Don't think I don't have a life. I actually do have a life, but I was just very much invested in that story, and I wanted to see how, especially since the title they gave episode 6 was, I think, The Unraveling, or something like, just when Jan Pepe scatter, and then we pick, and then we, when you say that you want to spoil it, or you want to throw it down, then you start picking it, that kind of thing. So I was expecting that, okay, we're going to see the culmination of everything, but it did not happen. But yeah, let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.